Okay, I've got 5:15. We'll go ahead and start the Budget Committee meeting. Has everyone registered their presence? If so, please take the roll.
We have 3 present, 2 absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. If we could now please play the emergency announcement.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you've reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
Okay, item C on the agenda is for public input on any items that are on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move on. Item D is approval of the minutes. You have the copy of the minutes in the packet from July the 10th. These minutes need your approval. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, please vote.
Three yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you. Item E, finance transfers, increases and decreases. One's on transfers, general county personnel payroll restructure. Do I have a motion to forward to the agenda committee?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote.
Three yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Motion will move forward. Item E2, increases. Resolution 18-08-01, GPSF, $150,000. Use of the fund balance for athletic programs at the middle and high schools. Mr. Logan, I believe you're here. Could you come brief us on that, please?
I think
Just
you're
the
on.
microphone.
I think it's on.
You're on.
Is it on? Board of Education at the last meeting a week ago, 2 weeks ago, requested or approved a budget increase via use of fund balance of $150,000 to provide funds to the high schools at $55,000 each, and to each of the 4 middle schools $10,000 each, which totals $150,000. The schools have submitted estimated budgets on some things that they would primarily request to use those monies for. At the high schools, that would include things such as baseball field drainage project, transportation for non-revenue sports being the smaller teams that don't have a lot of gate revenue, a lot of revenues coming in to support those programs. Miscellaneous and repairs of various things related to athletic fields, sprinkler systems that are on the fields, ice machine that they use for the athletics teams, and the mowers that they have on the various fields. At Blount, again, they've got monies they'd like to set aside for non-revenue transportation, sports equipment and uniforms for non-revenue sports, a used lawnmower that they'd like to purchase, restriping of the track at Blount High School, and at the middle schools, I've got a request from one to replace the padding that's at the end of the gymnasiums. They've got 2 gyms at Eagleton Middle School, and transportation for non-revenue sports, and irrigation for the softball field. And at another middle school, Carpenter's Middle School, they would like to do some scoreboard maintenance and service. If they don't have some operational scoreboards. I don't know which fields or athletic facility that relates to, and also transportation for non-revenue sports. Those are some of the things that the schools have turned in that they would use that money for.
Let me go back just for a second before we get any questions. We need to get a motion on the floor in a second.
So moved. Second.
Okay, now discussion. Commissioner,
I got a question. Some months ago, I think it was actually in the paper also, about the state of the lockers and I guess it was the football team's lockers. Are they included in this?
They have not been specifically asked or told to me that they would spend any of that money on that.
Did we ever get an estimate on what it would cost to replace and or repair?
We are working on very hard with a cost estimate for the full high school renovation project.
Okay, so you're thinking about doing that? Okay.
We are, and that includes all of that space that's underneath the seats at both high school stadiums. It's the locker rooms, the bathrooms, concession stands, and storage rooms. It's all under there. We're looking at what do we need to do to fix up, renovate those spaces, and that will be included in that number.
Okay, well, I'm glad, sorry, this is a new mic system, I'm a little loud. It was pretty plain to me back when I can't remember the dates, when it was in the paper, that they looked really bad, and I really want to see that. I personally want to see that fixed. I think it comes down to a pride thing. I mean, if we're going to support our athletics, then we have to provide them with the equal and or better equipment than the other teams as far as I'm concerned. So please look at that. I'd like to see that.
I agree 100%. And we have at both high schools, and for both football stadiums over the summer, we of course finished the project to reseal and restain the seats at both high schools, and it looks really good. We've put in a lot of effort at cleaning up, dressing up where we can those areas without doing the major renovations. So I think if you get a chance to get out there, maybe the Jamboree this Friday, I think it's at Blount High School, hopefully it'll look really good. It'll look better than what it did before.
Okay.
And this money that the board's asking to appropriate, it won't renovate anything, but it'll go a long way to helping the athletic programs cover some things that they need to do, and to be able to put the monies that they get from gate revenues and fund revenues more specific to the kids. One
more question, Mr. Chairman.
absolutely.
While I've got you, on the transportation for the smaller sports that don't generate any income,
Right.
is that third party, like buses, or?
Yes, sir. They
Through the existing contracts that we already have for buses?
Yes, sir. They work with different contractors and negotiate prices, and they help them out with that.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, please vote to forward.
Three yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Next item is E2B. It's a budget amendment that goes with resolutions E2B1 and 2. These items need to be considered together. Resolution 1808-002, General County Capital Projects, $886,324. County portion of local match for state industrial access SIA projects. Resolution 1808-003, SIA project Clydesdale Road. And Resolution 1808-004, SIA project Robert C. Jackson Road. Do I have a motion to forward to the Agenda Committee?
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Motion and a second. At this time, I'd ask Randy if you would please address those two resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item, Resolution 18002, establishes a budget for the two state industrial access road projects that comprise Resolution 3 and Resolution 4. The amendment would be to set up a transfer in the general fund of $886,324 to come from the general fund balance. The next step we would do is transfer that money out of the out of the general fund into a capital project fund for us to be able to service these two projects. So it sources the money out of the general fund, transferring it to a capital project fund. That's where the detailed accounting for the two projects would take place. The two contracts, one of which, the first on Resolution 3, is Clydesdale Road. Currently, Clydesdale services the part of the backside of Blount Industrial Park. Robert C. Jackson, which is Resolution 4, services the primary entrance and thoroughfare through Blount County Industrial Park. That industrial park, as most of you probably know, is the county's largest industrial park. It employs over 10,000 people every day in that business park. Any of you that have been in the area any time at all realize the traffic congestion that is in that business park and around that business park. The state of Tennessee is proposing to take Clydesdale from a dead-end street as a through street that basically would parallel Robert C. Jackson and come to an intersection at Middle Settlement's Mount Tabor Road area, and that intersection would be signalized. The county and Maryville and Tennessee would enter into tri-party agreements on each of these projects. The county and Maryville would be responsible for the match of 20% on the right-of-way acquisition and any relocation of utilities. And there will be some utility relocation. It would be a state project. They would be responsible for 80% of the project costs associated with right-of-way and utility relocation. The Clydesdale piece at this time, Blount County and Maryville would be responsible for $478,552 each. And on Robert C. Jackson, both local governments would be responsible for approximately $407,772. I will tell you that we came to you a year ago and asked you to approve the Clydesdale project at that time and got an appropriation from you and the commission for $60,000. That project has undergone a redesign, and if you were to approve sending this forward to commission and commission approve that, this project, then we would receive a refund for that $60,000, and then we would issue funding to the state for the $478,552. So it is a totally different project now from what it was when we originally brought it to you. Questions?
Any questions, discussion? So the motion is to forward E2B, E2B1, and E2B2, just to be clear. Commissioner Cole?
Yes, I'd like to make a statement. I am an employee of a large employer who is located in the Blount County Industrial Park. These state industrial access projects benefit the park. I do not believe I have a conflict in recommending these contracts and resolutions to the county commission for its consideration. However, I want to be transparent and disclose this information to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Yes, sir.
One thing I would make everyone aware of, you should not consider these projects without understanding the whole transportation network in that area. A lot of this is driven by the improvements that Blount County and Maryville are making on Morganton Road, the improvements that Maryville and Blount County are responsible for by extending Robert C. Jackson from 321 to Morganton Road. So this is part of the transportation solution for that entire area.
In conjunction with the cities.
Yes.
Okay. Seeing no lights, please vote for.
3 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Okay, next item, E2C. It's a budget amendment that goes with the resolutions in E2C1. These two items need to be considered together. Is that these? Okay. E2C is Resolution 1808-005, Highway Capital Fund, $750,000. High priority project for Morganton Road. And E2C1 is Resolution 1808-006, Morganton Road multi-year contract. Do I have a motion to forward these to the agenda committee?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion's on the floor. Chico, are you here? If you would come forward and explain a little bit about this item.
The project in question is a design project to do improvements to Morganton Road from Foothills Mall to William Blount Drive. We are partnering with the City of Maryville, and it's a 80-20 project, approximately 2.2 miles. The contract is estimated at about $9.3 million. It's a multi-year contract. It will take approximately 2.5 years to get the design phase and the environmental phase approved. Once that's done, we will enter into the right-of-way review and acquisition, which is another 18 months. Construction should start around 2021. That's the projected start date for the construction. Construction's estimated about 18 months on that. So it will be a multi-year contract, both design and construction, once we start. We have, up to this point, we have selected a architect and engineering firm. We went through legal review, we've negotiated, and if this is approved by the commission, then we will, purchasing department will issue that contract, and we will start the environmental and the design phase of that.
Commissioner Cole, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a question. Will Robert C. Jackson connect to Morganton before this work is done, or, you know?
Robert C. Jackson's anticipated to be completed during the Morganton Road phase. That's actually a benefit to us because we'll use Robert C. Jackson to control traffic and detour traffic during the construction phase of the Morganton Road project. There's really no outlets, no detours there other than Robert C. Jackson.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any other questions?
Any other discussion? Any other questions? Thank you, Chico.
Thank you.
Seeing no lights, please vote.
3 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you. Item E2D, Resolution 1808007, General Administration, $33,000. AMR fees for the purchase of supplies and equipment for 11 EMS agencies. Do I have a motion to forward to the Agenda Committee?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hadn't thought about this before, but seeing it in writing, always an attempt to be transparent, I just want to, I don't have a written out conflict of interest statement, so I'm going to speak off the hip. I am on the board or the committee that votes to determine where these funds go. 11 agencies, all of the agencies, Rescue Squad, Friendsville, Townsend, Friendsville, all of the departments, Maryville and Alcoa, are getting a piece of this pie. Where I want to make sure that I'm transparent is that I am an employee of one of the agencies that will be receiving a portion of these funds. It does not directly benefit me, it directly benefits the citizens of the community. So for that reason, I do not believe that I have a conflict of interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other discussion? Seeing no lights, please vote to forward.
3 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
No items under F. G is financial reports, which are for information only. Any other business? Without objection, we will adjourn.